First of all, I want to say R.I.P. Terry Callier, an amazing jazz musician, passed away today, October 30th, the age of 67. Yeah. Right now, I just feel extremely disappointed and sad. I guess along the lines of, I haven't really felt this down in a while. I just had a class, and I designed this lesson on Halloween. And I know it's really easy to just copy and paste lectures or PowerPoints that other people have made. I wanted to make it myself and try to make it more relevant to students here. So I found, like the soul zombie walk. And I found videos for that and showed it to students, and videos, examples of trick-or-treating and other things like that, just to make things interesting and fun. I included a lot of pictures, and then I gave them a little quiz on the vocab, and then after that I wanted to play a game of Pictionary. And since they learned all of the words, it should be pretty easy. I just show them a word, I write a word on my notepad, and then the two volunteers that come up from each group, they'll draw it, and their groups will guess to get points. But I had an extremely positive outlook on today's class, because this is a higher level class, considering they're only in the first grade of high school, so grade 10 in Canada. Simply because yesterday I tried it with my classes, second grade classes that could care less most of the time about, learning and teachers and school and whatnot. But even they, participated in the game and actually enjoyed it. So I thought, oh, so this should be great for everybody. It actually wasn't the case at all. They just didn't participate at all. I mean, they listened to the vocabulary and everything. Everything was fine until I went into the game aspect of it, and then they just stopped listening, or they didn't even want to volunteer and come up to the class. Maybe because my co-teacher was busy and I was just teaching by myself. They couldn't understand the instructions properly. But no, I did concept checking. I made sure, I asked them if they knew what I was talking about, and all the students, I got some students to repeat the instructions and say it out loud for everyone else to hear. But even during that time, there were other students that were just so distracting and talking loud and stuff like that. And this is the second time it happened. The first time they apologized, and afterwards, and they said, they apologized, and I thought it would be okay if I didn't think it would happen this soon, this quickly. Again, the last time it happened was 4 weeks ago, and but yeah, this time I didn't want to put up with it. I just closed my PowerPoint and shut down the computer, and then took out my USB and just came back to my table. And then the whole class went silent, because clearly they knew I was pissed off. I think it's okay to be pissed off and visually pissed off. Just don't thrash around and scream or yell at students. And that's one thing I don't ever want to do. I've had it happen to me before, and it's not pleasant. It's really hard to find a balance between, in Japan you'd call it the whip and the candy, I think, yeah. And you don't want to give them too much of that candy, because then they won't listen to you, or they think you're easy. And then if you crack your whip too much, then the students will be scared of you. They'll listen to you, but they'll be scared of you. I don't want them to be scared of me. I want them to be comfortable. I want them to have fun. And so that's why I put a lot of effort into designing these new lessons, pretty much from scratch. Um, it's just, I was just so disappointed. Combined with, I was already kind of feeling down about Terry Callier's death. It's not like he was my best friend or whatever, but he made amazing music, and it's just so sad to see him and Nujabes, another one of my favorite artists, just pass away so soon, so young. I mean, 67 is not old by any stretch of the imagination, and neither is 37, the age Nujabes passed away. So, anyways, but yeah, just this didn't help at all. And the class was great though until the last part. So I just had a talk with them. I sat down and the class went silent. A student came up to me and said, the class is sorry. I'm like, sorry? Really? Are you sure? Because this is not the first time. This is the second time. And I told them, I understand. It's hard being a student in Korea. You work so hard. You have to study all the time. There's so many ridiculous expectations, and you just want to have fun. You don't care about class. You don't care about school. You don't like school, and you don't like classes, and you don't like studying. You have to care about it because you want a good job and get into university. But I just told them, life was so much easier for me as a student. I was able to join clubs, so many different clubs, and after school, and here it's only just every Friday, for 2.5 or 3 hours. And I understand it's unfair, it's not cool, it's not fun, but my classes aren't that, maybe because they're not as structured or strict. I mean, it's structured in that I have a proper lesson plan, and everything's mapped out, and I talk to my co-teachers about it beforehand, but it's not like grammar or, listening tests and stuff like that. And who the heck wants to do that? They get enough of those classes with the other co-teachers before they come to my English classes. So they take different English classes. They don't just take my English classes. And so when they come here, maybe they just think I'm easy. And I'm not going to put up with that. I understand, if they don't want to learn, or if they're just so they're not motivated, but for them to just, not listen whatsoever, and I can't even hear myself talk. I can't listen to other students talking, or hear other students talking, sorry, and yeah, it's just not cool. I mean, I set out these rules in the beginning, and they just broke it for the second time. And it's not like it's a test. I told them, I'm not testing you on anything. It's Halloween, and it's a freaking game. And you know how to play the game. I just gave you the instructions. And I gave you all the vocabulary, and I double-checked it with you with a fill-in-the-blank PowerPoint where they can just call out the answers. And, I don't know. I worked so hard to design this lesson, and it's so interesting, the differences. Sometimes they're so good, and there's the usual classes that don't care, and but they were okay with this same lesson yesterday, and the class that's usually good, they just completely disregarded it, and they just every class differs, and it's not just, and even just one class can be different on different days. Teaching truly has a variety. It gives you a variety of experiences, even just with the same group of students. All you have to do is just come back and teach them a different day, and you just get something completely different, completely new. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about it. I just feel really down right now just because I was just so disappointed. Like you can't even call this. I don't even call this a class. You know, like it's just. It's a class. It's a fun class. I'm teaching you something, but it's not like ridiculous terms. You know, like I looked at some of their vocabulary lists and like not even high schoolers or university students in North America know those words or even use them on a regular basis. You know, so it's like, and they don't even, and these students don't even know how to hold a conversation, right? So just think of that. And I look at my class, and it should be a cakewalk for them, or they should at least want to listen, or they should just, you know, I'll just stop. Anyways, yeah, sorry, it's a depressing video, but I said I'm gonna show all of my experiences in Korea, and this is just one of them. So I think they understand. I mean, they listened to my story and why I was upset, and they seem to feel bad about it, but only time can tell whether they'll listen, truly listen or not. So, yeah, actually, I feel a little bit better now that I talked about it, but still extremely, extremely disappointed and sad about it. Yeah, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. And, like, give me some time, like, give me some food and some sleep, and I'll be okay.